Lovette. This place is like it's alive.
Alive, maybe. Welcoming? Hardly. This jail. It's not just the air, it's magical and dark.
I didn't expect our search to lead us here, to a place so forsaken.
Well, Zephyros chose well then. A place of power, hidden away from prying eyes, but also from any aid.
Whoa, did you feel that?
It's him. It has to be.
Let's go. The tower is incredible and terrifying.
He's in there.
How do you know?
I don't know. A tower in the middle of nowhere, wrapped in magical power in a place as dark as this? Where else could he be?
Right. Then we go in. Whatever it takes, we find Zephyros. We get the answers we need.
Here goes nothing. Keep your eyes open. If Zephyros truly reside here, there's bound to be traps.
I've never seen a place so abandoned, yet filled with such potent magic. It's an enrich.
Careful!
Thanks. That was too close.
This place does not welcome visitors. We must be getting close. Excuse me, sir. We're looking for Zephyros, the great wizard.
You have found him. Though great is a term I no longer claim.
You're Zephyros?
Master Zephyros, we've come a long way. I'm Sionnach, and this is Lovette. We seek your help. I was once lost in time, my essence trapped in the past. My friends, through love and sacrifice, brought me back. But in doing so, they became trapped themselves. I seek your knowledge and dunamancy to rescue them, to repay the life they returned to me.
And I'm from another world entirely. A powerful man banished me here for his own disgusting reasons. I need to go back to my people, to help my friends, to free my home, to give him a lesson for leaving me stranded in this reality. I need to return and finish what I started.
I hear what you're saying, and it pains me to tell you that I cannot help you.
But why?
I'm bound by a curse. My power, my very essence, is leached away daily. Helping you is beyond my capability now. And you must leave. Quickly. The beast. It will come soon.
What beast? Maybe we can help.
No! 'Tis folly. You must leave. This tower, this isle. It is no place for hope.
We understand the risks, but we can't turn back now. Not when there is a chance to save those we love.
Before we came here, we were at the Temple of Valor, your birthplace. We met with Hua Li, your childhood friend.
Hua Li. Always the light to my shadow. I chose the path of darkness, believing magic was the key to power. Power. I sought it to change the world, yet it changed me, cursed me, and now the magic that was once my pride is my prison.
She still thinks of you, fondly. She thinks that there is a reason you chose this path, and that maybe it was meant to be that way, so you could help us.
After all these years, she remains the same. I will share my story and knowledge, but then you must leave. The night is nearly upon us, and with it, the beast.
Welcome to another episode of the B&D podcast. In this episode, we delve into the captivating world of Darkness, and specifically, Mage the Awakening and Vampire the Masquerade, two iconic tabletop role-playing games set in the expansive universe of World of Darkness. Joining us today is our friend Spiros, an avid enthusiast of these games, and the GM behind all these dark campaigns who made us suffer through them over the years, taking emotional damage, the least. So, Spiros will guide us through the intricate lore, mechanics, and immersive storytelling of these beloved TTRPGs. We have discussed, actually, Spiros before, how much me and Val have suffered during his campaigns, mostly in the World of Darkness settings, giving us all kinds of nightmares. So, thanks for that, Spiros.
And I think I have to say that he's been the main character of our worst nightmares for years, and we are more than grateful for having him haunting our nights and days, no matter how traumatized we have been feeling around him, especially when he's our GM. So thank you for this, and we're so excited to have you here with us today. You're one of the most experienced DMs and GMs out there, and would like to thank you for helping us with your wits and brains all the time, no matter how many crazy ideas we come up with.
What an intro, huh?
The best intro. So
You're getting emotional right now.
yeah, I'm tearing up.
You say, the best words I've ever heard about me.
Yes, having my cruelty come up so often, I feel blessed.
It's just hauntingly beautiful in a
Oh.
way.
Yes, that's true. Poetically beautiful. Okay, I suggest we start with the basics to ensure everyone's on the same page here. So I'll start with the most predictable and introductory question there is. Spiros, can you give us a brief overview of what Mage the Awakening is and Vampire the Masquerades and how they fit into the larger World of Darkness setting?
Yeah, in Mage, you play an awakened character, someone that has seen beyond the dream. What we live right now in the World of Darkness is considered to be a dream, something that we make up in our own minds. So the awakened are pulled through the world and see the bigger picture. So you can bend reality to your will because there is no reality. It's just a dream. So you're setting up the dream. Vampire, on the other hand, you're a cursed soul who's doomed to walk throughout the ages, draining blood out of innocence.
You know, I've played both of them, and I don't know which is the worst. To be haunted by the vampires or being targeted by the mages.
Mages have a higher purpose in life. They have higher scope in what they do, and they don't consider themselves too much with the mundane and everyday things that most mortals do. Vampires, on the other hand, like to mess around with mortals. They see them as pets and as prey. So if I had to choose, I would go and deal with mages because most of the time they wouldn't even realize I was there.
Okay.
Vampire is actually emotional damage. I wanted to ask, since I've played Vampire the Masquerade with you, but I haven't played Mage.
Yeah, but you have played along with mages.
Yeah, I have, but I haven't played Mage specifically, and I hope this changes soon. But what I was going to ask was, what are the key themes and concepts that define Mage the Awakening? How do these themes differ from other tabletop RPGs?
The main theme is darkness, okay? And it's the same as with all of the games that are played in the World of Darkness. Everything is consumed by darkness in this setting. So what the mage needs to do is try to better themselves and awaken themselves to a higher spiritual level. The main theme is that you need to gather more knowledge, more power to bend the reality to your will, bend everything to your will, even your own companions, as you have witnessed.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's the purpose of most mages, even your antagonists. So the conflicts between the mages are in higher scope than other games. And the main difference between D&D, for example, the wizards and sorcerers in D&D, is that in D&D, the power comes through leveling up.
Mm-hmm.
In Mage, even a low level in quotation marks can do things that are exceptionally powerful for a normal person in this world. So the scope is very high.
To be honest, I found it, maybe I still do, quite challenging to get the hang of this game, Mage, especially since I'm more familiar with Dungeons and Dragons. I have played Vampire before. Mage is the first time. It's not that big of a difference, but the two games, World of Darkness and D&D, are really, really different. Because in D&D, the focus tends to be more on combat and straightforward spellcasting, and Mage emphasizing a more complex approach to magic that involves what you said, shaping reality itself, which requires a different mindset.
It's as the game itself tells you, the mage first shapes up the spell in his mind. That's what you need to do as a player.
Mm-hmm.
You need to shape up the spell you want to cast, and then the DM, the storyteller, will ask you to roll the dice that you need to roll, if you are able to do that. If your gnosis and arcanums are high enough to do the effect that you want. But even if you're not powerful enough to do the effects, you may find something of a lesser impact to cast as a spell. So you will always have something to do. It's not like in D&D, I'm out of spell slots. I'm useless now.
Yeah, but we have paradoxes.
Yeah, these are something. So
these are
paradoxes for those that have no idea what paradoxes are. Yeah. When you try to shape up reality, the dreamers, the rest of the mortals that are inhabiting this world, are refusing to let go of this dream. So if you cast the spells in their presence, what they are witnessing is making them disbelieve the effect. They want to continue dreaming. So when you try and alter this dream, you have to suffer the consequences. There is a paradox roll, and this paradox can be a very mild derangement, or you may unleash hell on earth.
Sounds terrifying.
It is. It really is. Because it is an eternal nightmare, to be honest. You have no idea how many things have gone wrong because of a paradox.
So bad about Walking Dead in the middle of a city. I don't understand.
Yeah, not a big deal.
Not a big deal.
Yeah, that's why now we're taking bashing damage, because
as a mage, you can absorb some of the paradox. You can take pain. You can take punishment on yourself, or spend mana points in order to suppress it or take damage. So it's not such a big deal. But when you need to cast your 5th or 6th spell in a scene is like combat in Mage. You accumulate more paradox dice, so it's easier to have something bad happen to you.
Yeah, you balance the risk, and we barely make it out alive with this bashing damage. Or not.
Yeah. Well, so far you haven't sold it so well. To me, it sounds more triggering than actually promising.
It depends on what you want to do. If you want to play a game that your imagination is the only limitation to your character, then Mage is the best one I have played.
To be honest, I like Mage more than Vampire.
Yeah, Vampire is more straightforward, though. So in Vampire, you choose your clan, and your clan has a few limitations, so you need to go by them. But in Mage, even if you're past something that has some drawbacks and some bonuses, you can still branch out and take all the arcanums there and do whatever you want.
Yeah.
It's the freedom is limitless. Only if you have enough XP, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See, since I'm going to say that I am hopeful, but
Yeah.
I'm also terrified. But I'm going to ask the question that I wanted to ask since the start, because it's the most important to me. What type of characters can players create in this game? Could you describe the different paths or factions that mages can belong to?
So when you build your character, the most serious question that you need to answer as a player is, what would your character want to do more in his path, as a mage? So, for example, does your character want to change time or shape the earth? What do you want to do? And that will lead you to one of the 5 paths for mage. There is the path Acanthus, which is situated in Arcadia. Arcadia is a name that is used in D&D also. So it's playing an outer. Think about an outer plane in D&D, much like the Feywild.
Feywild. Yeah.
The Feywild. Yeah, it's ruled by satyrs, nymphs, Fey. But
Acanthus
the Fey,
team here.
Yeah, but the Fey in the World of Darkness are not the happy, frolicking people that go around and spread joy and boon around the world. They are mischievous. They try to bargain. They like to play games with mortals. Some of them may be helpful, but most of them, they have weird sense of royalty in them. So the path Acanthus shapes time and fate. So a mage belonging to that path, as is Zephyros' character, tries to master these 2 aspects and branch out to other aspects of the mage's nature. There is a path Mastigos, which is like a demon worshipper type of guy. It would be easier to build a bad guy through this path. It deals with demons. It deals with arcanums, as the schools of magic called in Mage, are matter and space. So when you play a Mastigos character, you deal with raw damage. There are 3 more paths. Path Moros, which is a necromancer. It deals with the dead. Yeah. And there's Path Obrimos, which deals with the forces of the universe, and it's associated with celestial forces. Let's say that because there are no angels and demons as we know them from D&D in the World of Darkness. They are some other kind of concept. So the angels are not good characters. They have higher laws that they need to obey, and they bring judgment to those that don't obey them. So the Obrimos are of this nature, more straightforward, more law-abiding mages. And the path Thyrsus is the path that thrives on life. It's the healer and druid of the...
Wow.
Sold.
Oh, yeah. Our friend Harris plays a Thyrsus mage.
Of course.
A god, according to Harris.
Yes, he's not a doctor, he's a god. He was a doctor in his mortal life, and he continues to persuade himself that he still is a doctor, but with a higher calling.
It's kind of funny because in the last session, he killed me with his healing because of a critical failure. Thanks, Harris, if you're listening to this.
You were in the shadow realm, so...
Yeah.
So, the World of Darkness splits in a few realms. It's the mortal realm, the fallen world, as it is called. The shadow realm, which is like the shadow plane in D&D. It's a dark reflection of the world. And then there are the 5 planes that surround, that are the higher worlds, Arcadia, and the rest of them that I said before. So, higher than the fallen world is the abyss. And the abyss is a schism in reality from where all the evil spawns and where the damned souls of the vampires go. Never to be seen again.
And that's where the nightmare begins.
Yeah. A player plays a vampire, you start with no soul. Your soul is doomed. It belongs to a fallen power much greater than yours. And the concept of some of the player characters in Vampire is to try and find a piece of their soul back, which is very difficult. The clan Salubri, they try to enlighten themselves, to follow a path other than the pursuit of hunger, and they try to have faith in the higher power to bring back a piece of their soul, to get back what they have lost through their cares. Because most of the time, it's not even their fault. Someone turned them into a vampire, not their fault.
A chef, let's say. Anyway, I want to talk a bit about Béatrice du Lac.
Béatrice du Lac, I don't know anyone like that name.
Béatrice du Lac. Because during our ongoing campaign, I personally play a character with the name Béatrice du Lac, who is now under the cover name Geshoku, which means lunar eclipse in Japanese. And actually, to be fair, initially the name was Shoku because I thought Shoku meant eclipse. But later on, Spiros told me that Shoku means food, eat.
Or the act of eating in Japanese.
Yeah, and not such an appealing name, as you can imagine. So Geshoku comes from the combination of two words, Getsu, which means moon, am I right?
Yep.
And Shoku, which in combination with the word Getsu means to eat away, to eat it, referring to the occlusion or the shadowing effect during an eclipse, where one celestial body is obscured by another or by its shadow. So Geshoku is a mage who excels in time magic and a little bit in manipulating the fates, but she wants to be a time magic archmage, just to remind my precious GM.
Yeah.
But during our last session, Shoku died, as we've said before, inside the
in the shadow realm.
In the shadow realm, fighting some ghosts. Okay, so they created a new body, which is similar to her, but much hotter. With presence 4 now, and transferred her lost soul into her new body, and that's how Geshoku was reborn. And the experience was too much for her, to be honest. So now she can speak from the shock temporarily. And guys, I'm so proud to mention that I'm the new Frankenstein girl.
You're Frankenstein's bride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the end of the session, while we were taking XP, because in order to get your XP, your GM will make you some questions about what
That's
happened.
not the standard. That's the way
that's how we play it, at least. About your character and their actions during the session. It's 3 questions. One is easy, one is more difficult, and one is even more difficult. We actually mess it up in the easy ones. Anyway. And
Val messes it up in all of the questions.
Yeah, no, I was so bad at this. So bad.
Spiros asked me a deep question in the previous session. What was more traumatizing for Geshoku, her death or her rebirth? And I've been thinking about this a lot because it's such an interesting question, and I like diving into this kind of discussions because they help me understand my character better. And I'm still working on my answer, but I promise to have one ready.
I was slightly hoping that you would answer it here on the podcast, but
no, it's a philosophical question, and I've had such a hard week.
Even better.
Okay. Rebirth is definitely then more difficult.
And why is that?
No. I'm joking.
Okay.
I'm joking.
You're free to answer during our next session. It's okay.
Okay. So as we move on, how does Mage encourage storytelling and character development? And I want you to share an example of a compelling story arc from your own gaming experience that you personally liked.
There was a campaign played, it was a vampire, the Masquerade campaign.
Mm-hmm.
The character started as 3 mercenary vampires that went to a place to investigate what was happening. In the end, these three managed to stop an otherworldly invasion, a hellish invasion on Earth, even though they were vampires. They were evil creatures bent on killing people. Okay, they were vampires, soulless evil creatures. But they managed to do something that no one was expecting of them, and they did it by their own accord. I gave them free will and free roam to do whatever they wanted in this setting, but they managed to do it. It was Haris, Aris, and Yorgos, the three players. But as a single character that was very, very intriguing, the way that she evolved was Val's character in the first campaign that we played in.
Spill the tea.
Yeah. Do you remember the character? Val?
Sky.
Yeah.
Sky Mackenzie.
Yeah. It was a very interesting character. She had a very niche background because she was involved in the Scottish Revolution, but not a very successful one. Yeah, and she had a very nice arc. She
was living the Outlander dream.
Yeah, was at the time. Her Shire was William Wallace.
Yeah. They will never take our freedom.
Yeah, and I killed the queen's
queen's consort.
Husband.
Queen's consort. Yeah, that's the legal name. I wasn't expecting from Val as a player to do that kind of assassination. It was beyond her scope as a player. She's more mild, more down to earth, and more shy about these things. But Bree brought something that I haven't seen her do even before that, and I haven't seen her do since then.
Will never happen again. That was just a one-off.
That beach of a lady Bree was something else.
Well, you are the definition of who's afraid of a little old me.
Exactly. She was a gangrel. I love gangrel.
That was a great example of a character, and there are many characters. All of them are very special, and one meme character that has been resurfaced 3 times by Aris is the character Arulis, a vampire again, a Tremere vampire, who has single-handedly managed to destroy 3 of my campaigns.
He's got the power.
Classic.
Yeah. He has the achievement.
Yeah, he goes for that achievement every time. He has managed to kill more characters than I have. And I am the freaking GM.
I want to ask a really difficult question. What challenges do players typically face in Mage, both in terms of gameplay and narrative? So I'll be, basically I'll know what to await.
I want to answer to that question.
Okay.
The dice that Spiros throws against us.
No. These are the hardest part in Mage and Vampire is its own character. So if a player tries to play a character and he messes it up, that's the hardest part. It doesn't matter if it's difficult mechanically. The game it isn't difficult mechanically. Okay, you can start playing vampire or mage even if you don't know how the character sheet looks. The GM will tell you that the storyteller will tell you what dice to roll. It's all a single dice. It's a D10. The character, though, when you play a character and you start to mess up what the character needed to do, that's the most difficult part for a player. And that's why I give the experience points the way I do. Because most importantly, when I see a player not performing as their characters would perform, and I see they're not having as much fun, I try to ask some questions in the end of the session that will make them more interested in what their character must do. That's what's the most difficult part.
I was going to say that part gave me like a heart attack every single time. I could hear my heart in
The
my ears.
anxiety.
Yeah, but when I ask the questions to the other players, you're all, oh, it's an easy one.
Favoritism all the way.
Yeah.
But I'll make the next question. What role do ethics and morality play in Mage? How do players deal with the moral implications of wielding such significant power? Sorry, Val.
Why, sorry? What's happening?
Because that was her question.
It's fine.
Oh my God, I'm colorblinded.
So, Val, let me answer your question.
Val, it was such a great question, to be honest.
Thank you.
I give the credits to her.
So, yeah, as you know, I'm a very morally gray storyteller. Morality,
Yes.
morality goes out of the window when you play in one of my campaigns. Every person has their own morals, and that's something that is true in the real world. So you might find a place where children suffer, but these children must suffer because for the greater good of the community. It's up to the players to interpret the situation and play their morals. So in the Mage, for example, you need to value in our current campaign in Zephy, you need to value how much time your mage needs to spend searching for a missing child that was kidnapped by the Fae and stolen into Arcadia.
Yeah, but my party doesn't want this.
Yeah, and they shouldn't want to investigate that because that's done and done. You don't need to worry yourself about that. You're a mage. Your scope in life is much more than one child.
Yeah, but this child is
Yeah.
also a changeling. So
Yeah,
I'm curious, not just because it is a child and I want to save it because I'm Zephy deep inside.
Changeling is another game in the World of Darkness and another great game. Very interesting.
Changeling as we know it, as we know them.
Yeah, for those who don't know what a changeling is, there were some stories in the Middle Ages that a mother wouldn't recognize her child in the cradle, and the story was that the Fae came and took the child, took it away in their realm, and they left a fetch in its place, a doppelganger, and many of the families didn't even realize it. But some mothers went crazy by the fact, and that's not my child, that's not my child. The child
Lovely.
The fetch
Lovely
was
story.
raised. Yes, a very lovely story. The fetch was raised as a normal kid, but when the true kid escaped from the Fae realm and came back to the world, the fetch would turn into a monster and kill everyone. The end.
The end. And
Classic.
That's how this
And
little
the child that returns from the Feywild, from Arcadia, from the Fey realm, is called a changeling.
And that, kids, is How I Met Your Mother.
Not this is How I Met Your Mother.
It seems like our party operates outside the typical bounds of morality, to be honest. It's a bit of a wild ride with us because one of our mages kills to soothe his nerves. Another views people as potential subjects for experiments. And ironically, the one we initially thought would be the most dangerous sniper turned out to be the kindest among us.
Yeah, he just wants to have fun.
So I have another question for you.
Yeah.
Since you've talked about your favorite characters and their character development, I want to know if you can tell me some memorable moments or campaigns you've experienced while playing Mage specifically, and what made them stand out.
A great moment was in a hybrid campaign. So Val was playing a vampire and the other players were playing mages, but the storyline was mage-oriented. The turnaround point in the campaign was trying to assassinate a vampire based on a historic real person, Boudica, an English revolutionary of the 1st century AD. And the first time they went to kill her torpored body, so the vampires, when they lack sustenance, they enter a torpor, a sleep-like state that's like death, actually, but they might awake from that state at any moment. So they tried to assassinate her, but they didn't see the magical wardings around her room, and they traveled back in time. So
Oh,
that,
I
that
just remembered.
yeah, that moment was so hilarious because they were so careful up to that point. They encountered the supernatural being that was guarding the gardens outside it, and while Val's character died in that encounter, one of the other mages turned back time and saved her. It was great. And at that moment, that the only moment that they actually needed to be careful, one of them just, oh, it's okay, I'll go in, and they traveled back in time. And Hell Unleashed on Earth, it was the game over. I had planned.
Yeah, it was game over. I do remember that after 6 hours of playing that day.
Yeah, they failed to do what they needed to do, and it was game over. Then after a few weeks, I didn't really want it to be game over. I planned another campaign and attached it to the same one, and they kept their characters and managed to turn back time again, have a different version of the present, but they were sent to the future, in a dystopian future, because the thing that they went to do, assassinate Boudica, succeeded. And the future was much, much blighter than what they were they were expecting. And then again, they needed to turn back time and go back to the same spot, the same decision, assassinate Boudica or not. And they just decided, okay, leave that be. We don't do anything. That was the end of the campaign.
I also wanted to add to this because you were talking about that the campaign that I was a part of. My favorite character ever. I don't remember his name. I don't remember anything, but I do remember that it was played by George, and it was a Nosferatu.
For those of you who don't know what Nosferatu is a kindred, a vampire that is so hideously cursed from his curse that his appearance is very malformed. He has missing flesh from his bones. His hands are turned into claws. He can't blend in with society. And
Such
they
a
have
cutie.
they have some tricks up their sleeve. They can appear to be someone else, and so that's how they go around among people. And a few of my characters have fallen for their tricks.
I love Toreador, to be honest, personally.
We know.
Yes.
Everyone knows.
I have a soft spot.
Actually, Val's first character was a Toreador, if I remember.
No, it was a Ventru. I do remember because I've taken the test before we played.
It was a Ventru, and she.
I'm gonna also say, just because I know that Aris might listen to this, I will always remember that character of his with a brother. So it wasn't my favorite character, but I cannot forget this memories and this images in my head.
I ran a campaign. I wanted to try something. I ran a campaign, and I asked all players to play a female character. And that was the best decision I could ever do. Because Aris and Harris made the most hilarious female characters. They managed to run a brothel all together with Val's character. It was awesome. Yeah, all of that in mid 19th century London.
Mm-hmm.
It was a great setting. It's Victorian London is a great setting for everything.
Oh, Penny Dreadful vibes.
Oh, PTSD vibes.
Zephy, that's where the good doctor comes from in your campaign.
The good doctor? Which doctor?
The one that makes all the transplants.
The grandfather. The
great grandfather. Yeah.
Is he really? I didn't remember this. that he was
Yeah.
from there.
That's why Aris, Yorgos, and Haris have a PTSD with that.
Oh, I don't want to remember.
Because this is an ongoing campaign, and the guys have previously played so many campaigns with Spiros. So now that I play with them, Spiros usually says something, and they're like, "Oh my god, I can't believe this! This is happening!" And I'm like, "What's happening?"
Yeah, but
What?
now you're inside. You're inside the same jokes.
Yeah, I'm a bit better than I was before, but I still try to,
So, Val, do you remember it was a guy that stabbed you in the guts?
Yes, I do remember that, and I don't want to remember that. So please, let's just let go. I was going to say that I wanted you to share with the world how many years you've been playing RPG games in general. How many
RPG
years
game.
you've been DMing or GMing or whatever, like a storyteller. I just wanted to ask this question in general.
Okay, my first experience with a board game was with Hero Quest. It's a miniature game played on the board. It has heavy RP elements. You choose a miniature. It's either a mage, a dwarf, a barbarian, or an elf. So you have some skills that go with the character. And that was my first touch of RP. I was very little back then. It was around 8 years old. Then around 10 years old, I discovered Diablo on the PC in 96. That was my first RPG. It was a game. And in 97, I doubled in AD&D, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. I started playing. The Barbarian was my first class. And since 98, I've been DMing and DMing every kind of RPG that has come across my path. I have played everything from D&D to GURPS to Savage Worlds, World of Darkness.
Which is
It's just
your
because-
favorite system?
My favorite system.
The most enjoyable for you
As a GM or as a player?
as a GM. Actually, you mostly play as a GM, to be honest. So I'll say as a GM.
As a GM, I love the freedom that World of Darkness gives me because you can give stats to everything and on a whim create a character and you just add his attributes with his skills and have a viable role to do. Even NPCs that are here just to talk to you might have a slight darkness in them and have something hidden that might be just that they cheat on their wife or something. It has a very free, very much freedom to do whatever I want in that system. D&D and other more rules-based RPGs don't give you that freedom.
I really wanted to ask this question because at the start I said that you're the most experienced DM and GM that I know, and I just wanted to justify it and prove that you've been playing for longer than...
I've been GMing for 21 years, so yeah, I think that's
exactly.
You get the job.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think it is a good time to wrap it up. Spiros, how was your experience with us here in the podcast?
As always, you were annoying us all hell, but I love you for that. So I have, that I always have fun talking to you, even in English.
It's weird, but it's weird.
It's weird, but the things we do for podcasts.
I hope that I didn't butchered or massacred the language. Hopefully, everyone will forgive my mistakes. And just so you know, they are my opinions. You don't need to attack anyone. You can attack me.
Tell us about the story of the B&D podcast. Do you listen to it? Do you like it?
Oh, I like it. I like it very much. I like when we discuss things. When we go out for coffee, we discuss some things about the story. And I like how you brainstorm what you want to do with the story. And I like where it's going. And I like that things are not easy for your characters.
Oh, they won't.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
True story. Based on our life.
Yes.
I could give XP to your character right now if you want.
Yes, we want.
No, it would take too long.
And also, I want to mention that Spiros has actually given his voice to one character, to King Vilmos, if you remember.
I was the king, yes, and you treated me very harshly.
That was him. And now that we talk about voice acting, in this episode, we've heard another character, Zephyros, the wizard. And Val, I think we need to make a huge shout out to Jamie.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, Jamie, for giving your voice to Zephyros. You've done a great job.
Guys, it was
I need
amazing.
to say that everyone that has ever lent their voice in this podcast has done a great job.
They're amazing, aren't
kudos
they?
to everyone.
They're amazing.
Yeah, they are amazing. Everyone.
And fun fact, Zephyros, to be honest, was inspired to be just an old elf. And then we've heard with Spiros, because we were on a session, a mage session at that time. And we've heard his lines, and they were amazing, amazing.
Yeah, they were.
And they gave us a vibe more robotic. I don't know how to say it. And then we were brainstorming there all together, and we were like, okay, what if he put his soul into this armor or something? And it was much more amazing than, a typical elf, trapped in a tower. And it made more sense, and I think it gave the character more flavor. Yeah. So
Spice.
Yeah, and it opens up so many subplots that you can experience. I love it that you have all these nuances in your storytelling, and you would make a great DM if you had the time and courage to do so.
I've been saying that a lot.
Guys, I wouldn't. I've tried one shot and it went.
That's your problem, is that you run one shots with Aris, and you need to have someone that needs to have fun, but also move forward with the plot.
You know what the funny thing is, though? That Aris and Val were the only ones who were trying to save this one shot.
Okay.
So that was a plot twist. The problem were the other players. Anyway, so Spiros, thank you so much for coming today. Thank you. You were such a delight.
No, I wasn't.
Even though you're so darky.
A haunted delight.
You should post my picture.
The picture we're seeing right now in the Zoom call.
Yeah.
He's like Anakin in Order 66.
When he goes to the temple.
When he goes to the temple, yeah. Anyway, so thank you guys for listening to one more episode. We hope you liked it as much as we did. We'll see you again on the next one. Till then, may all your rolls be a natural 20. Bye!
Bye.
Bye.